Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the new moon. It's on April 27th. It's at 7 degrees of Taurus, and by the time we have this new moon, Venus has gone direct and it's starting to separate from Saturn. What does this mean for you? That's what we're going to talk about. Welcome everyone. This video starts with a short overview, then we're going to talk about your sign and the predictions for love and money, and then at the end of this video there is a short bit on activating your part of fortune, so you're going to want to stay all the way to the end. And if you would like a copy of your chart so that you can follow along in these videos, I'll send you a PDF. There's a link in the description. Okay, let's take a look at this new moon chart. So I upload these new moon videos about 2 weeks before the new moon, and that means that you're probably watching this video right as Venus is tracking along with Saturn. So the day after the full moon, back on April 13th, Venus went direct at 24 Pisces and Saturn was sitting at 26 Pisces. And so Venus is love and money and all the things you desire, and then Saturn is a brick wall. And so what this means for people, in general, is that everyone has the feeling that they're not getting what they want. So when a planet turns direct, it starts out moving very, very slowly, and Saturn already moves very slowly, and so now Venus and Saturn are doing this very slow waltz together as they go forward. They're almost like chained together. Now Venus would like to lead. Venus would like to lead you towards more money, better relationships, and everything that you want. But Saturn, the planet of hard work and discipline and restriction, is holding on to Venus very tightly now. So by Monday, April 21, both Venus and Saturn are at 26 degrees of Pisces. And now the North Node is there too. Now the North Node is your life path. And so Venus is what you want. Saturn's the strict father telling you what you need to do. So, and then with the North Node, you need to follow through because this is the direction to go. So in other words, over this 2-week period on the approach to the new moon, the correct way to go is the hard way. And if you're uncertain about which direction, take the uphill route. That's going to be the best way to get to what you want. So from April 21 to April 24, we're really doing that energy. And then on April 24, Venus starts to separate and move past Saturn. And from there, then the hard work that you've been doing starts to yield some rewards. Basically, at that point, you eat your vegetables and dessert comes. And then we're going to see Venus start to pick up some speed. So by April 27, Venus is a full degree separating from Saturn. And that means that they are becoming two separate entities, that the rewards are no longer tied to how hard you're working, how austere you are. And then by April 30, Venus is in Aries. And not only are Venus and Saturn separated, but at this point they're in different signs. And so now they really feel like there's some relief here. And so people basically all over the world are going to breathe this sigh of relief, especially those in the stock market. So because things feel a little easier. But don't be fooled. Venus is going to run smack dab into Neptune in Aries. And this is, such a desire for relief that people go overboard. And that is, the person who has one drink will have 10. The person who spends $10 may spend $500. The Venus-Neptune conjunction is like a scammer's dream because the scammer can promise anything and the person's ready to click. So you want to give Venus a few days, even though you may be feeling better, but give Venus a few days to get past Neptune and past that confusing energy. And then you can say, okay, now things will settle down, smoother waters are ahead, and we have this calmer month of May that we're going to enter into. So the bottom line here is that we're not going to really feel this energy of Taurus, which is about contentment and comfort and a steady paycheck. We don't really feel that until we get a few days into May. In this 2-week run-up to the new moon, be very aware that the best way to get what you want is to be disciplined, to be focused, to be working hard on a goal. And then as you do things, then you're going to start to see the rewards as Venus pops out and gets past both Saturn and Neptune. Okay, Leo, this new moon is at the top of your chart, lighting up both your career and you. This is very good for your reputation, your social media numbers, and if you're looking for a job or trying to get a promotion, this is excellent energy. Now, the Venus-Saturn conjunction is in your area of resources from others, as well as business income and investment income. And it is talking about really focusing and doing the work that's necessary to make some of your passive income sources truly passive. So this may be that you're looking through prospectuses or looking to buy a business or going through and streamlining your own business so that it can be more efficient. If you work for someone else, this may be talking to HR about some of the benefits that your company offers that you haven't tapped into yet. And if you would like to know what's ahead for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, the Sun is making a semi-square to Jupiter. That's interesting energy because it's almost like meeting someone who you meet them because you were irritated by them, but then you discover that they're quite delightful. So, or you're meeting the person in circumstances that you would not call ideal, like you left the house with your hair disheveled and wearing old clothes, and then you meet the person. So there's something that seems to be off or different about how you come together, and or that you finally went on a blind date and then you find out that it was really fun. So, but something there is a little bit off, but the energy here is quite good for meeting someone new for a love relationship. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, there's no aspect going on between the Sun and Uranus. There's no aspect between the Sun and Saturn. I will say, though, the Sun and Uranus are in the same sign, and they are going to catch up to each other, or more accurately, the Sun will catch Uranus, and then you'll have some more harmony. But the thing that I'm concerned about is the Pluto-Mars opposition that is happening in your relationship houses, which means that things could get contentious between you and your partner, and they could escalate quite quickly, and you have the power to stop that from happening. Just try to avoid getting into especially old arguments. This is the third hit of this opposition, but this is the first time it's fallen in your money houses, and so that's why you have to be extra careful. So this is more about you owning that Mars, because Mars is in Leo, and saying, I'm not going to fight with you on this. Let's talk about this when we have cooler heads. Now, when it comes to your money, you pull money from Mercury, which was recently sitting on that Neptune, and that is the vision. So you may have had an idea of where you want to go with your career or your investments, or perhaps you have an idea of a new product or service to offer, or how to create a new business. Now, as Mercury separates, it's time to do the research. So this is a great time to research whatever it is that you're interested in alignment with making money. And they're going to find a lot of answers, especially when you hone it down to simple questions. How do I do this? What's the best practice for doing that? Those focused questions can help you weed through all of the extraneous information and find what you're looking for. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, Mercury is no longer making that conjunction to Neptune. It was there, and that might have been when you received a contract to review, a prospectus, some notification from the government, or some other legal thing that you have to follow through on. Now that Mercury is away from the Neptune, it's time to do that paperwork. It's time to look at regulations that might be changing, or if you need a certification for what you're doing, or you're renewing credentials. This is a great time to do that, and that's just doing that groundwork to make whatever it is you're doing or investing in more solid. Maybe it is about opening the brokerage account or the Bitcoin account or something like that. Those things, they do take a little bit of time to get going. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be a paycheck, Mercury is not making a lot of aspects in this chart, and so it's making a semi-sextile to the Sun, a semi-sextile to the Moon, and a semi-square to Uranus. All of those are in your house of career, but they're not easy aspects. So this is not a breeze this time. If you want to wait, this will line up better in the future. Right now, asking for a raise, you may get some pushback, or the person may just say, I just don't have time. Yes, you know, I'd like to get you one, but I'm too busy, or the company's not solid enough. So just keep this in mind and maybe just wait until this energy lines up better, which it will in the future. This is the third section of this video, and I have a couple of announcements, and we're going to then talk about the part of fortune and activating that energy. Every month I offer a free class by Zoom. It's called New Month Wishes. It is on the first day of the month at 12 p.m. Pacific time. The next one is on May 1st. And now there is a much easier way to register for this class. So there's a link in the description to register. In this class, we talk about the energies for the month, and then we write our wishes together, and then we energize these together. It's a really fun class. It is free, and so I hope you come. I also want to expand this channel and do more videos about astrology, feng shui, everything, all the different things. And so I have opened this up to memberships. So if you'd like to support me and support the channel, click the join button to find out more information. Now, the part of fortune on your chart is represented by a circle with an X in it. It's kind of like the treasure map X. And the part of fortune is actually a mathematical calculation between sun, moon, and ascendant. It is very helpful for people who don't know their birth time, because the part of fortune can be used as an alternate ascendant. You know, back in the old days, it was pretty rare that people wrote down a birth time. So the part of fortune was widely used for this purpose. And by fortune in this case, we mean opportunities to make money, to make good connections, to be in the right place at the right time, and to receive what you want. Activation of part of fortune comes through transits, and so any strong transit would affect it. If you would consider maybe a transit from Mars, that would be, then activity would happen. So for an activation by transit, I would do 2 degrees on approach, 1 degree separating. So that means if your part of fortune is 10 degrees, when Mars gets to 8, then it is approaching by 2 degrees. And then when Mars gets past 11, it has separated by 1 degree. And so that would be 2 degrees on approach, 1 degree separating. And that's the time period where you would feel that energy. For a transit of Mars, that would be about a week. If you're interested in how Mars and other transits could affect your part of fortune, leave me a comment in the description and I'll do a video on it. You can also use different spiritual means to activate your part of fortune, specifically crystals. Crystals attract energy and they create a focus, and so they are very useful for connecting with this energy. So I have a little list here of different crystals that are associated with the different signs. These are not the only crystals you could use. So these are just common crystals that you probably have already that I recommend. There's a full list of these crystals in the description, but we'll go through them really quickly. And that is Aries is tiger's eye, Taurus is citrine, Gemini is adventurine, Cancer is moonstone, Leo is sunstone, Virgo is moss agate, Libra is turquoise, Scorpio is black tourmaline, Sagittarius is carnelian, Capricorn is green calcite, Aquarius is rutilated quartz, and Pisces is amethyst. Again, there is a full list of these in the description, and you do not have to use these particular crystals. These are just suggestions. So when you're working on money opportunities, when you are dealing with business matters, or anything where you want to make a deeper connection with someone or get some money, you want to have this crystal nearby. Maybe it's on your desk, maybe you're wearing it as a piece of jewelry, or perhaps you are holding it in your hand while you make these calls. But that helps you focus the energy and tells the universe that you are activating your part of fortune. If you don't know where your part of fortune is, I can send you a PDF of your chart. There's a link in the description. Just put the words part of fortune in the subject line. I also have a video about the part of fortune going through the houses. There's a link to that in the description. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the memberships. Subscribe to the newsletter. It's free, and I will see you in the next video.